we do have voices. And I think you, I, and a bunch of people we know at this level really have art and words that can change the world.
Tomasina Abate, welcome to At the Vanguard. It's so good to see you. Thank you for joining me today.
I am so honored to be a part of this, Chris, and I'm so proud of you for doing this.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. The honor is truly mine. You are such a wonderful person and performer and artist and friend. So you and I, we met doing For the Record, right? Was that when we first met?
Actually, we really met doing Hip Hip Stare.
Oh, right. Hip Hip Stare. I forgot about that.
Was the very first show that I did of the For the Record type with you and Brent Kyle, Brian Gillespie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was such a good time.
Yeah, that was blew my mind. It was with Audra May, Maya Sykes, and a bunch of people, and I'm like, I'm in, because
LP I think was part of that.
LP was a part of that. Yes.
Yeah.
And so many incredible artists. But what I loved about that one was that it just the heart in it, and it was more artistic than like, how the For the Record shows were.
Yes.
Based on directors. But this one was just more like their artist vision, you know. Yeah. It had a message.
It did.
I was the angel.
Yes, you were. You still are.
I did a CeeLo song.
Yeah. What was that song?
I think it's called No One's Gonna Love You Like I Do. Something like that.
Yes. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago. Oh my gosh. So we met there. You did a bunch of our For the Record shows.
Yes.
I was in your band at Palm Springs Pride.
Yes. Yes.
We taught together. We taught college courses together.
Yes.
And you performed vocals on my master's thesis at Berkeley.
Oh, yeah. I totally just forgot about that.
Yes.
That was so current.
Yeah. And then you also sang at my wedding.
I did, and I have to tell you that was really hard because I cry at weddings. I can't help it, and especially because it was you and it was so beautiful, and so I was like, okay, keep it together, and I was trying to sing it. It was so beautiful, Chris.
Oh, it really was.
That was incredible.
Yeah, and you being there it just meant so much to me, and it really just elevated the whole thing. So yeah, it was perfect. So we go way back, basically, is what I'm saying.
We do. The first For the Record show I did was John Hughes.
Okay.
With Barrett Foa.
Right.
His rendition of it. I think it was like the second show after the wall came down at the bar at Bar Vermont, and then it became the Rockwell. And I just remember I was the basket case.
Yep.
Which is the Ali Sheedy part and the Jennifer Grey part from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And I remember the first night coming out in my big puffer jacket as Ali Sheedy, and I was like, It was one of the first times I really felt this viscerally. I was like, these, are we allowed to cuss?
Oh yeah, please.
Oh yeah. I'm like, these fucking people are going to be blown away. I was so excited to like come out and do the thing, you know, but I was also so terrified because the way that you guys had put shows together, you weren't always quite really ready.
No.
It was like you were on the verge.
Never ready.
You were never ready, and things were being changed. And it's like the first time with an audience, and I was like, are they going to be in my way? You know, it was just a completely different way of working. But because of that show and because of those shows, I am not afraid of anything anymore. I can do any show with no rehearsal. Wow. And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'll survive. I got those survival skills now.
I feel like you had that at the beginning when you came in the door.
I must have because I survived right away. But
yeah, you knocked it out of the park. Yeah.
And then I did a little bit of a Tarantino one with you guys as the Uma Thurman roles, and then I did Scorsese. And that was the top of the mountain for me with those. The like your version of Comfortably Numb that you wrote. I just remember like all these like amazing voices and the way you guys placed us in the room, that very small restaurant. We were singing towards each other and then towards the band. And every time I was like, it was such like a tribal, spiritual, like coming together moment, you know, that the way that you orchestrated that. That Comfortably Numb, man. You got to bring that back.
We will at some point, or I will, or somebody will.
You have to. You have to. It was iconic.
Well, let's talk about kind of your origin story. Yeah. How did your relationship with music begin? And also, at what point did you did it stop being something that you did and became who you are?
That's an interesting question because I think I started out it being who I was.
Okay.
And then when I started working, it became something I did.
Interesting.
And then years later, it's what I am again. But because my relationship with music started with my father. He was a musician, drummer, piano player, and he was constantly playing piano at the house, singing to the point where like he would sing like the Beatles, you know, Hey Jude, and he'd be Judy, 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 and for some reason I wanted my name to be Judy. Like that's I was so obsessed with him. Like I would lay underneath his piano while he was practicing, like Dizzy Fingers. I don't know if you've ever heard of that song. It's a really hard blues song for the piano. And I would just sit under the piano and I was engulfed in it all the time. But my mother was the one who was like, you're going to be a star. And I'm like, you know, got that into my mind from such an early age. Like I don't remember not wanting to be a star because she used to put me on the coffee table in the living room and make my whole family shine flashlights on me while I sang Hello Dolly. Like she'd dress me up in wigs and stuff. And that's who I was. Like I identified with that right out the gate.
As far back as you can remember.
Really, really though. And then over time, like I was always there was never a question. I was always in dance classes, show choir, chorus. But it wasn't until like mid high school, like junior high, where I actually sang with a band for the first time. For my family. I mean, they all came to the concert and I sang Like a Virgin. Madonna. And I'm like, how is that okay? Like, how did that even pass? But it was with a band and I told my dad, I go, I know what I want to be. Because it was never a question that I wanted to be a star. It was like, doing what though? You know, and I was like, I want to be in a band. You know, from that point on, I nurtured that side of it. But, you know, me and my father were in my first musical together and his first musical actually together when I was like 16 at Downey Civic Light Opera. We were in Brigadoon together.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, it was one of the best times of my life. And I pursued that side of it, you know? So then right out of high school, I was going to Long Beach City College, and I was getting up super early. All I had was music classes. I didn't have any academic classes. I was like, music, dance, I don't care. That's all I want to do. And I was waiting there for my music theory class at like 7 a.m, and I saw an ad for, it was Long Beach City College Disney Entertainment Arts Program auditions. We'll teach you how to sing and dance with the best instructors, but you also get to be in one of our shows and get paid $8 an hour.
Wow.
For at the Queen Mary. And I was like, write it down. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I'm getting that. I'm getting that. So, do you want me to keep going with this?
Please.
Story?
Yes.
Okay. Cause it's quite a long journey, but, I prepared my little dance and singing number, and I showed up to the audition in a one-piece red spandex unitard with my boombox and my tap shoes. Like, I had no idea about headshots, resume, like sheet music. I didn't know about all that. I was like,
you were playing to win.
I was playing to win, and I was delusional because I came from a really small high school where, you know, our theater was a cafeteria. They called it a multi-purpose room. So like, I was feeling pretty good about and confident about my talents, you know, there. But so when I got out into the real world, I was like, I'm a star. Like, I got this, you know, and I showed up and I pushed play on I sang Cabaret. What good is sitting? And just hamming it up with a tap, like dance break in the middle. Anyway, I got it. I got the job.
Wow.
So I was in an Andrews Sisters singing group with Stan Freeze, who was actually the head of Disney at the time, music. And then I was in their show called Motorcar Mania, first as the gorilla. And then I moved up, and I was the lead in it after a while. And that story is pretty crazy too. Like I said, I was really delusional back then, and the lead had twisted her ankle or something like that. And they're like, "Sorry,
Twisted
everybody."
her ankle.
She twisted her ankle, and the show had to go down. And no, she really did. She got hurt, and everybody's usually happy when the show goes down because it's like you get the night off or whatever.
Yeah.
You get a break, but not me. I was like, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And the stage
everyone
manager
else is
was
like, oh man.
They were like, no. She's like, no, it's not safe. And the stage manager was like, you can do it. And I'm like, yeah, I can do it.
Wow.
No problem. And she's like, okay, maybe not tonight, but maybe we'll try it tomorrow. And I'm like, yes. So I went on. Turns out I didn't know it at all. I thought I knew it. And I was just like, oh shit, like trying to run around. I thought they were making up lines. I thought it was improv. So I improv the whole thing.
Oh my gosh.
And they were laughing their asses off, but they did actually train me after that.
Okay.
And I ended up doing it.
That's incredible.
I ended up being the lead. And because of that delusion, that's what got me in the door with Disney. So then after that, I was Pocahontas at Disneyland. I was Cruella de Vil. I was in a a cappella singing group called Groove 66 with a bunch of major singers. And then eventually helped me create my band, Tomasina.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the abridged version of my journey.
Yeah. We'll come back to Tomasina in a moment, the band. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would just want to interject and say, I mean, maybe it's not delusion. Maybe it's just you had tenacity. You were brave and you had a vision that was uncompromising. Yeah. Yeah.
I did. I had a vision, but I think as we all are, like the more you know about the industry, and that's why I said it was kind of flipped for me with who I am as opposed to what I do, because there was no other way. Like I was just felt like I was a star, like born to be a star. But then once the competition set in and the rules and the like, you got to have a resume and what should you put on your resume and how you should present yourself and the hows of how to get a job and how to be in an audition and stuff, that messed with me. Yeah. It started getting in my head. Then I started not feeling like I was gonna get it or like I was right for it. Like because I wasn't cookie cutter.
Kind of shook your faith a little bit.
It shook my faith, and so it took me, obviously I played the game and I learned how to play the game, and I loved every moment of it. But it took me then again years of doing that to then flip it back around and remember really who I was, and that yes, there's rules, but you really have to be yourself in it all. Like it doesn't work if you're trying to be something that you're not, it never worked for me to do that.
When was that moment when you realized that you had reconnected with yourself and reconnected with your artistry, and what was kind of the linchpin there?
To be honest, that Scorsese show had a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
Just because of how the songs that I had and the way that I felt that I was able to really break out of my shell. And because I was surrounded with such amazing examples of how to sing and how far you could take it, that was a big moment. But the only time, the time that I felt most like myself was when I was in a band, being Tomasina.
Yeah.
So when I started doing cover bands, it took me a little bit to fall into it. But once I was in a band and fans started showing up, like actual fans, liking me and not a character, that's when I started feeling like myself again. Like this is my space. Like when I step on the stage, nobody can tell me to stop. You know what I mean? Like they can fire me afterwards, you know what I mean? But in this moment, I'm allowed to be as big and take up as much space as I want to take. And it was during that time when with the Tomasina band, but also like I was in a band before that, practicing being myself, within the confines of, being rated G.
Because
it's Disney.
Well, so
I got really good at that,
The Tomasina band formed in 2008.
Yes.
Is that right? And then this is when you were asked to play at Disney's Tomorrowland.
Yes.
Right. And then that's what formed the band. So
Stan Freeze approached me. He was also the one that gave me my very first job at the Queen Mary out of high school. He approached me after I had a falling out with another band I was in who were playing there already. Okay. So I'd met him through that band, and I was lead singer of that band. Anyway, we had a falling out. I got a call from Stan Freeze going, I didn't like those guys anyway. I just want you. He's like, let's put a bet. I go, I got this guy, John Kubis, who became my dear friend. He music directs for Dancing with the Stars and stuff now. He hooked me up with John Kubis, and he's like, we're gonna have an audition, and you're gonna make your own band, however you see it fit, And he gave me dates before I even formed the band. Like he gave me dates at Tomorrowland Terrace to play that summer.
And you played every weekend for years.
Yeah, like either every weekend or every other weekend. From 2008 to about 2017. Wow.
That's a residency.
That is a residency. And that's when I really developed my artistry.
Yeah.
Because I chose the songs. I got to wear whatever I wanted, within the confines of family friendly. And I got to my dancer friends would come and just do choreography to my stuff and be on stage with me. Like we did Thriller one time, like the full thing, like with no extra pay from Disney. I would do special Valentine's shows for the fans.
So they give you a lot of free reign.
But before I started, before the time I did New Year's Eve in front of the castle. So like it was a ramp up, and I was like always under the radar. Nobody really knew about me, but I was building fans. It was like kind of, Tomorrowland Terrace was kind of like its own thing. No one was really paying attention because it wasn't a booked show, Then I did New Year's Eve in front of the castle, Sleeping Beauty Castle, in front of like 20,000 people.
Wow.
And that's when John Coulter started making my costumes for me. Gorgeous costumes for me and the band. I would say that was one of the hugest moments in my life where I was like, it doesn't get better than this. I mean, there's Walt and Mickey holding hands right in front of me, and I'm singing Guns N' Roses as Tomasina, dressed in whatever I want to dress in, as opposed to being a princess. Like I was Tomasina, and people were there, Then after that, I started being on their radar. And that's when they started like kind of reeling me in a little bit.
They're like, wait, what are you doing over there?
Wait, who is this? What is she wearing? Wait, do we, like, what's going on? And little by little, there started being issues, and it became a little less fun after that, but it was wrapping up anyway. They closed Tomorrowland Terrace after 40 years of having live bands. Like No Doubt played there.
Wow.
Like a bunch of big bands played there. Because I think because of Star Wars Land, I'm only assuming, but, it became more about kind of smaller things like DJs.
Yeah.
Which I love my DJs, so I support. But, they don't have live bands anymore there. So
that's so unfortunate.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish I had never seen you there myself, but obviously I've seen you perform 1,000 other ways and places, so I can imagine like it was just transcendent, for those people, and no wonder you developed a following. So that's such a wonderful chapter,
It really is. And I'll send you the link to that New Year's show,
please,
if you want to show a little bit of it.
I would love to.
It was incredible. And that's how I developed as an artist. I self-developed.
So speaking of that, what would you say is the essence of your artistry?
The essence of my artistry, I would say, is being unapologetically myself. And I'm already quirky. Like I don't really have to try to be that, I've been very lucky in that, I was raised by a father who definitely thought outside the box. So, for my artistry, it's being authentic. And also like, there's no confinement, like I, as a woman, do a lot of what I call dude rock. So I do a lot of guy songs, but I don't change the gender. I don't change the pronouns.
Yeah.
I sing it as a woman channeling a man because I feel fierce when I do that. I love doing like Rage Against the Machine and just being like, what the fuck? Like just channeling what I think it feels like to be a man and to have that ferociousness. And I don't think about like, oh, this isn't girly enough or feminine enough or women don't do this or, I think that's what you mean by that.
Yeah, absolutely.
At the base, I think that's what it is.
Well, and there's one article that said this about you. It says, you light up the stage with 1,000,000-watt charisma and you have a voice like a diamond drill.
Yeah, that was Dan Campbell.
How did you develop this level of charisma and musicianship and just overall excellence, right? And how do you maintain it? How did you develop it? How do you continue to maintain it?
Well, I did not grow up studying voice. So it's completely from me listening to my records as a kid. Whitney Houston, Barbra Streisand, Michael Jackson, and then also a bunch of 80s rock and roll, you know. That's how I developed it, and through show choir, and which I believe is great training, even though you're not formally training with a music or a voice teacher, get into any choir. And because you can sing at the top of your lungs and you don't feel self-conscious, nobody's listening to you. And my father, he bought me a sound system from just like a realistic, do you know that from Radio Shack?
No, I don't. I know Radio Shack.
They had a line of equipment called Realistic. Okay. So he bought me a microphone and he bought me a sound system, and he made me karaoke tracks back before they were available. Wow. And I would sing every day, all day in my room. I would close the doors and just sing and call like guys I had a crush on and be like, check this out, and put the phone on the thing. And like, you're going to love it. Like I was so, it's weird because I'm not like that anymore. I'm very humble now. And back then I was very like, watch this. You got to see how good I am, you know? And I was probably less good then. But, and then it wasn't until I was in the cover bands until I started having to, so for me, the answer to the question was imitation. Yeah. Trying to sound like what I was hearing and singing it over and over and over again, placing it in my voice. Like I couldn't belt at first. And then I put in some Barbra Streisand. And I mean, Chris, I was screaming, trying to belt. It was so not right and so bad for my voice. But then I found it. That's how I found it, because I kept with it. You know, it wasn't even confidence. I don't know what it was. It's just, tenacity. I just wanted to do it. Yeah. I knew I wanted to sing that note. And the same thing happened with Elphaba. Because, you know, Eden Espinosa, she was my sister-in-law and still my great friend, is in my opinion, best Elphaba that ever was on Broadway. And I remember watching her, and afterwards I'm like, I could never do that. She's like, Binga. She called me Binga. Yes, you could. And I'm like, I could never. That's crazy. Oh my gosh. And then cut to, I got hired for a Mary Kay corporate show. And my friend Kelly Rice, who's no longer with us, he's like, Tomasina, we want you to sing Defying Gravity. And I'm like, oh, hell no. Like, I can't. And this was in like 2015 or 14. I'm like, there's no way I can sing that, Kelly. And he's like, no, you're singing it and it's in a month, so good luck. And then and I'm like, shit. So same thing. I got Eden out. I got Shoshana's voice out. And I just kept drilling it and drilling it and drilling it. And one day I was like, whoa, you know, and then all of a sudden I could do it. Yeah. And I blew myself away because I was like, whoa, because I had been called an alto my whole life. So I was like, oh, so you can actually work up to those notes even if you think you don't have them. Like after that, I was just like anything that I wanted to do, like even songs now. I'm like, if I can't do it, I just pop it in and I keep singing it really badly and painfully until I can, you know? Yeah. And then I did study a little bit too. So like I warm up every day. I sleep. I don't drink. I don't smoke. Dairy, you know, that doesn't make or break your voice. That's next level. But, you know, I care. I before every show I rehearse I for like weeks, you know. And even now, this late in the game, I'm still trying to push myself to new levels.
I'm not complacent.
No, because the sound is changing. You don't want to sound like Barbra Streisand anymore. You know, you want to sound like Billie Eilish. So it's like, to be still in the game, and you know, I don't want to change my sound, but you have to kind of go with the flow of what the sound is, you know, what people are listening to. So I try that out. try all different kinds of things.
Well, let's talk about your current music. So you had, was this your latest video? Was Cautionary Tale the latest video?
Cautionary Tale was the latest video from my last album,
Okay.
Painted Crown.
Yes.
And that album was funded by a crowdfunding.
Wow.
My fans funded that album. And that video I actually did with my friend Gabriel Encinas and Sam Pablo. And just us three did the whole thing. And it dealt with suicide amongst LGBTQ youth and adults. And it turned out, it was a blessed moment in time. I didn't even know what it was going to be until I started editing it. And it turned out so amazing. I'm so proud of that one. And that was the last one I did off of my last album, which was all rock and roll.
They didn't know he was on the edge till the light rose as hard as grave. They didn't push him off the bridge. They told him boys and dresses can't be saved. They prayed and they prayed, but no one changed. Seems like freedom. Can't you see that? There's no escape. Suicide seems like freedom. Can't you see that? There's no escape.
My new album, which is not out yet, it's called Plate of Gold.
Yeah.
And this one, I'm going a little bit more disco,
Okay.
EM, dance, but also I'm getting a little sexy,
Okay.
Chris. And
That's allowed.
well, I mean, to be honest, like I met somebody,
Okay.
and his name's Jonathan Michael Marquez. He and I were good friends for years, but we bumped into each other, and I just, we'd always like been interested in music and always talked music together, and I'd come see his shows and stuff. But we were like, hey, let's collab or whatever. And so I went over, we had coffee, I saw his studio, and then I realized I was really crazy about this guy beyond collabing. And I'm like, but I'm like, but yeah, let's collab. And anyway, we ended up, going on a date, and we ended up falling in love. And
That's a collaboration.
during that process, but we're still like focused on the music. We started collabing right away. And I mean, when I tell you, we got like 6 songs out in like a month.
Wow.
Like from in December of last year. Because I told him, I'm like, I kind of want to do a disco album. So because I was in that mindset, and everything, it was like less rock and roll and more. And I've been watching a lot of Drag Race. Like I love Drag Race, RuPaul's Drag Race. So we went that direction, and we just worked at whatever came out. And so there's a lot of cussing and a lot of, sexual references and things, which I, in my life, have never wrote about. Because I never worked with anyone who that would have been appropriate, with. So now it's just like the whole sky open, and like, it's just the whole album. Not only does it sound amazing, it's fun. It's like you can dance to it, but it's also like there's a few of them where it gets, I deal with the honesty of like being in a relationship, and it's like, because you post about it all the time, it gets messy. Like you don't just leave when things start getting heated and bad. You got to work through things, and so all of that's in the record. We realized like we made a record about our journey. And I'd never been able to write a record like that.
And art can do that,
Yeah.
I think, who knows, maybe that's what it's for, is like to facilitate, human flourishing and the human experience, and, make sense of things.
Yeah. And we didn't even dissect that until afterwards. We were literally just going with the flow of, hey, let's try this, and he was so awesome. Like, it was just so easy to be myself in the studio. Normally I don't like to, like, for my last record, I did all the vocals myself in the confines of my own studio, where I could mess up and try things and do my own editing. But he was like, here, I got a track idea. Let's lay down a vocal. And I'm like, but I gotta sit with it. He's like, or we could just try it right now. And he just kept doing that. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, and we did. And so it was a completely different way to work. We did lyrics on the spot, like just from the moment of how I was feeling, instead of going back to my room alone and, I wonder if that'll sound good. You know what I mean? And just, I guess, a visceral experience to where it was like just whatever came out in the moment. And so it feels like a real piece of art. I'm so proud of it. And I can't wait till people hear it. We're completely done with it.
Do you have a favorite track?
My favorite track is Joyride, which is the one that when this comes out, you'll be able to play it.
Okay.
Because I'm just like, it's just talking about being scared of this relationship, but I'm freaking ready to go for it and just open it up. And I don't care if I get burned, because I'm feeling tingles, and just talking about how I was feeling in the moment. Like, we don't have a long time to do the things we want to do. And it's just like, live life to the fullest now, and that's what the whole song is about. It's super fun.
Scared as fuck, pussy hot on fire. Enjoy the ride, spend my life entire. You can't go full out after you die. It's a life well spent, it's a moment in time. I'd rather get burned than never burn. Let it burn. It's worth the burn. Enjoy the ride, my structure of repair. My role model, fantasy, reality pair. Explode, but I don't care. Shut the training wheels, get off on pleasure. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy.
Wow. And when does the album come out?
The album, we're trying to get funds to release the vinyl. So I have a pre-order on so as soon as we get enough money to, we're working on the photography and the artwork and the vinyl, then we'll be able to release it, because the album's done. We just have to release the physical form, and we're all self-funded. So, as far as like recording and everything, that's all done. We got Derek Frank on bass, who you might know, but he plays with Gwen Stefani and Shania Twain, and now is out with Melissa Etheridge.
Nice.
Played the Ozzy Osbourne tribute at the Grammys with Young Blood. It wasn't the Grammys, I think it was the AMAs, but he put it over to the next level. It's so amazing. Wow. Yeah.
Well, I can't wait. I'm very excited.
It's incredible.
Especially to see this new side, it's so cool, because I've known you for so long and I've seen your art, evolve even just in this time. And so to see it continue to do so, like, it's so thrilling. Yeah.
After this, we're already working on our next album. Yeah. And after this, it might go in a different direction, because rock and roll really is at my heart, at my core. Like, I feel rock and roll, I feel like that's where I can really be visceral and tribal and, like rage and stuff. But I love to dance too. And like I said, I'm showing my sexual, sexy side, which people have always highlighted in me, but I've never come from a place of feeling that way, you know, or expressing that side of me. Even though I grew up loving Madonna, you know, it just never felt right for me.
Yeah.
But it feels right now.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing.
That's awesome. I would love to know if there's a role for that vulnerability plays in your artistry. Like, do you ever feel like that you are vulnerable, or even like the opposite, like that you have to protect yourself in any sort of way from the audience or from, you know, the business? Like, what are your thoughts on vulnerability and its role in your work?
I do feel vulnerable a lot, and I get really bad nerves sometimes to the point of not being able to sing because I'm so afraid of not being what they expect me to be, because it was different when I had nothing to prove, or I had more to prove, and I didn't have a reputation of being good, where I was like, I don't care, you got to see how good I am. But now that people are saying, you got to see Tomasina, she's amazing, that gets into my head, and I'm like, oh my God, I have to be amazing. And that creates fear in me. Like, what if I'm not living up to what they're telling everyone I am? But also, and I know what you mean too, in the art itself, I don't know how it happened, but somewhere along the line, it's probably because I started taking acting and started, you know, realizing what acting really was, that it's really just being, like being yourself, and really tuning into what I'm actually feeling, and like who I am, and my emotions. That now, when I'm on stage, I'm really able to like come from a place of authentic feeling, you know, and like I'm feeling, it depends on the lyrics or whatever, but like I'm feeling a little bit sad or insecure or mad or ragey, and for some reason I'm really able to tap into that, and also it's feels good to do that. Like, it feels good to be vulnerable, knowing, because I've tested it out so many times, knowing that people actually really appreciate and love that because it connects them to themselves. So the more vulnerable you are, like vulnerable being exposing yourself, the more people feel like they can expose themselves, you know, in the connection of it. And it's a really magical thing that happens.
It's like you're opening the doorway.
I'm opening the doorway. Like, it's okay to just be yourself and to feel, and it doesn't have to be presentational. You know, I don't have to play a role. I can just, you know, be dumb, or, you know, even in this moment, you know, there could be like a feeling of, oh, I gotta act a certain way, or, you know, present a certain professional way, but like, that's not what this is. Like, I've probably said too much already, you know. You know, that people are going to be like, what? What are you saying? Like, there's somewhere along the line, it's like I've developed this ability to open up to people, because I feel like everybody has the same things going on, you know. And I do feel that it's very important in art. Like, if you can sing your ass off, that's great. But if you cannot sing that great, but you can open yourself up to who you really are, and like have it be a real emotional moment, you'll get everybody's like money every time over the two. You know, people, that's what they want in art. They want to see a real human moment, you know?
Yeah.
And it's okay to mess up. I mess up all the time on stage. People actually really like it.
Yeah.
Because it makes you, I'm like, well, at least you know I'm not lip syncing.
Well, and half the time they don't even notice. It's like we know.
They really don't. Chris, I have developed this thing. I'm lucky because I have my own show, so I can try this out. It's harder to do when you're in a booked show, like a musical. That's way more terrifying. You know, but and that has to be a little bit more rigid because you have a director and you have things you have to do. But when you're doing your own show, I can turn it into anything I want. So I have this thing where people don't even know. I will crack like a motherfucker, but I just will not react.
Yeah.
As long as you don't react, no, half the people aren't listening. Half don't notice. And then the ones who did will doubt themselves. They'll be like, but they can't because I'm not reacting. So they'll think, maybe she just meant to do that. Maybe it's a character thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, or I'll mess up the words and I'll be like, yeah, everybody sing. I'm like, yeah, so what? Or I'll be like, you know. So to be vulnerable is important. And yes, when we enter the stage, it is a risk. Worse than skydiving, worse than climbing Mount Everest, getting in front of people and singing. It's the worst. It's the hardest thing you could ever do because all of our emotions as a human are in our voice.
Yeah.
You can't hide anything.
Yeah.
When you're singing, when I'm upset, like if I'm having a bad night, like I can't hide it. You know, it comes out that way, but I let it. You know, and hopefully somebody is experiencing that night as well and connects. It connects in a way that they don't even know is happening. It's kind of magic. It's like it's not in our hands when we connect as humans, you know. I don't know if I'm answering your question.
You are,
but
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also authentic. It's real. Like it's like that's where you are, you know.
Yeah.
It's like you're not trying to be somewhere you're not or someone you're not.
Yeah.
It's like this is where I'm at right now, and so I'm going to work with what I have, and I'm still going to make art with it. You know? Exactly.
Because, I mean, there are many times, I'm very judgmental about my own voice. That's when you talk about excellence, I mean, you kind of have to be, you know, to keep assessing, is that good? Is that good? Is that good? Was that good? But that's not really good for your performance because if you're judging the performance, you're not in the moment, connecting with people. And so I have to clock myself sometimes and be like, yeah, it sucks, but this is what you got right now. Yeah, you know, you can't hear, the sound sucks, the star player is too loud, you know, I forgot those words, it's not the best. It doesn't matter. None of that is in your control. So to me, that's really being vulnerable. Like just going, I'm supposed to be a good singer, and right now I don't feel like I am a good singer, and I'm gonna do it anyway. You know, that's part of being vulnerable.
Yeah, you might be moving in this direction already, but kind of maybe related. What's the hardest truth that you've learned about sustaining a creative life?
The thing that's coming to mind right now is I used to think that the more I practice and the more talented I get, it's just inevitable that someone's going to come knocking at my door and take me to the highest heights of stardom or being famous or Broadway. They're going to come find me because I'm going to work so hard and practice so much. I'm going to be so talented. It's inevitable. And what I learned is that is not how it works. And I learned the hard way. Oh shit. You mean I have to go out and be the business and market myself and go to all the auditions and put my music out there? I didn't realize that I had to do it, that I had to not wait for the gatekeepers to open the gate, that I was the one that had to take the initiative and put myself out there. That was something I really wish I would have known years ago, because that's just what I did. I just was, and obviously with the business side of it, people think I'm going to be a singer and make money. You can't really make a lot of money at a lot of the places that you love.
Yeah.
A lot of things that you love to do. For instance, the album I'm making. I'm paying to do this. I'm pay, because for your project that you did, we're paying to do what we feel like we need to do creatively.
Yeah.
And that's okay because it fulfills you in such a way that no other kind of like job, like corporate entertainment or Disney or these things that I get money for, fulfill me, so I'm happy to pay for it. And I think those are the two main lessons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think the music industry today rewards artistry or compliance?
Oh, for sure, compliance.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. To the point where, like, everything you see, it wouldn't, and again, I don't want Disney to get mad at me, but pretty much every single artist out there has been in a Disney show, a Disney sitcom of some sort. I know from experience, Disney is so corporate and it's very rigid. And there's things you can do and there's things that you can't do. And that is not artistry. These record companies and stuff, they have a brand that you must adhere to. They don't just go, yeah, just make whatever you want and it's going to be fine. No, they in the studio, they're like, no, we can't really put that out, or we want you to be more like this because we're branding you in this way. And so, yeah, no, you have to be compliant for sure.
What do you think would change that?
Being compliant?
No, what do you think would change that paradigm in the industry?
I think that we have to self-release. We have to be our own record companies. And it's what I'm doing right now, what I've chosen to do. Because I think that if I would have been signed back in the day, I would have been like Britney Spears shaving my head. That's why she's shaving her head. Because she is not allowed to be a person. She can't really express herself. She couldn't be Britney. She had to be what they wanted her to be. She could never stray. She could never say she barely even was able to write a song, But I get to. I mean, I'm not, getting the numbers. So, and that's the payoff, but it doesn't mean it's not possible.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like what you're doing with this, with your new venture. You're going to be able to create an education in the way that you see for people and educate people in the way you see, as opposed to in the rigid format of a school. Or, it's the same thing everywhere you go. 9-to-5 jobs, hospitals, it's all rigid. And to me, that blocks what life could be, what art could be. Art could be saving people's lives left and right. If you allowed people to speak on what's really happening and speak truth and, like you said, be vulnerable. But those things they're not being seen in a worldwide level. Yeah. So that's the payoff, but it doesn't mean it's not possible.
Yeah, and that's exactly why I'm doing this podcast. It's very much to the point, because it's for myself, one, because I have visions and dreams and ideas that have not been able to kind of take root in some of these established institutions and paths. So it's like, okay, well, I'm going to have to carve my own so that way it can grow in the way that it wants to, in the way that I imagine it and believe that it can be. Yes. But also, to kind of give back and support, so that way artists like you and anyone else who has that same ambition, like they've got a place to go, because I think that's the thing. It's like, it's a little bit like the write the book you want to read or make the movie you want to see. It's like, that's I think you're right. I think that is what we should see more of, I
think we are. And I think, like in the case of, nobody likes to post about themselves all day, every day. You know, nobody, that's hard for
Some
most
people
artists.
do.
Some people do, like they're more influencers and stuff, you know, but like true artists, like it's hard. It's like my boyfriend, it's hard for him to like, he's a true artist. Like he cares about music. What does he care about social media and like doing all these tricks and, you know, numbers and things? But we know that if we want to get our music and want to get our artistry out, we have to do this, because I always tell him, I'm like, just think about it like you're your own television network.
Yeah.
What would you do if you had your own television network? Like you got to entertain the people. You got to bring them to your show, you know, because there's so many shows out there, you know?
Yeah.
And it's hard for me. I mean, I'm still confused about it all. But it's kind of, I mean, yeah, I would like to be signed to Capitol Records and Interscope Records and Third Man Records, but I can't wait for that to happen anymore.
Yeah.
You know, because I do have an artistry and I'm still developing it, you know, and we do have voices. And I think you, I, and a bunch of people we know at this level really have art and words that can change the world into a better direction than where we're going right now.
Yeah.
You know,
And things like social media and technology, they can facilitate, you know, like they're tools and we can use them to prop ourselves up and to get ourselves out there and for, you know, the greater good of our own artistry and the field as a whole. But you know, as we know, it's a double-edged sword. Social media, some of the new technology coming out. So on that, like, what are your thoughts on AI?
Oh, that's an interesting question. I'm terrified about the future, but I'm also, I know, because it's like people were scared of electricity. Back in the day, they thought electricity was going to kill us. We thought the World Wide Web was going to kill us. We thought Google was going to kill us. You know, I thought, you know, social media was the end of civilization. I'm approaching it differently. I think that if we use it correctly, it can be really beneficial, especially for artists that are on their own like us. We can literally prompt it to tell us how to do what big labels are doing, you know, how, you know, to do things, or, you know, helping with album art, helping to level up our art to the same level that people with the big bucks are doing, you know, as far as like, you know, making films and making music and releasing art that is pretty much stolen, that gets tricky for me. I think that is an ethics thing, and somehow we need to make sure we work that out to where if AI is going to be studying your likeness in your song, you should get a piece of that. You know, at least get paid for that, for your ideas. But that part I don't think we're going to be able to regulate. But I think that AI is going to, I think it also, like, I don't know if you've seen some of the photography and stuff that people do with AI. I love it. Like, I think it's gorgeous.
It's incredible.
It's incredible. And like the videos that people can make. So I feel like it's like the keyboard. When the keyboard first came out in maybe the late 70s or 80s, I'm not sure. People were terrified of the keyboard. They're like, that's not a band. That's not music. You know, people are like, digital music is not music. And I'm like, no, but it's an instrument to create a different kind of music, to create more music. So AI can, because it all depends on what you prompt it to do. It's still coming from you.
Yeah.
You know, like I want a video where I'm flying through space and I introduce myself to a flying pig and we befriend each other. And I mean, you know what I mean? And then it makes it, you're like, no, that's not quite it. You got to make it more, I want it to all look like wood. I'm just making this up right now, but like, then it's like, okay, how about this? So it's like we're prompting it still with our ideas.
It still starts and ends with humans.
It still starts and ends with humans.
Yeah.
And whether you like it or not, to even show it to anybody at that point, whether you want to take the advice of the AI,
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, especially how quickly it's developing. I mean, gosh, it feels like yesterday AI wasn't even a thing, and then now all of a sudden it's ubiquitous, it's everywhere, and it's embedded in our lives. So in like 5 to 10 years, I can't even imagine. But I'm with you. I'm more excited than I am worried.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see.
The only part I don't like about it is the fact that like I could be not talking to you right now and wouldn't even know it.
Yeah.
And in 5 years from now, there's going to be trickery. And that's the part. There already is, exactly.
Yeah.
And we think we know the difference, and we really don't. And so in a way, that's interesting because we're going to be like, I don't know what's real and what's not anymore. So maybe people will stop listening to stuff. So, like it's the Bible truth or whatever you want to say, like maybe people will start thinking for themselves in groups of people because they can't trust anything out there anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll have that effect to where, well, we can't believe anything anymore. So let's not believe anything. And let's go back to like whatever's in front of me is real and that's it. You know what I mean? It could do that, So,
well, speaking of the future, and we can let this be the last one since we're nearing the end of our time. What do you hope that people remember most about your work 100 years from now?
I want people, when they listen to my work, I want it to bring out the best parts in them. Because that's what I work towards for myself. I want to shine a light on the best sides, or not even the best, but like the most realist, authentic sides of myself. And that's really what I want people, when they listen to my music, I want them to feel empowered and like go, fuck yeah, then if she can do it, I can do it. And I'm going to go right now and I'm going to put on this outfit that I think I look dumb in, but I'm going to, you know what I mean? I want it to empower people and to know that it's okay to like be different and be themselves.
I like to feel the passion to the point of no return. I will be in full reaction. I wanna take it in my arms. Take it in me.
Maybe in 20 years from now, it won't matter. Everyone's going to be crazy anyway, but, and then, and a sense of healing, because I do believe that voices specifically have healing frequencies and powers that we don't even know about. People come up to me and they're like, your voice is so healing. And the first reaction is, I didn't do that good of a job. But then I had to stop myself and go, wait a minute, something in my voice is healing them. And it has nothing to do with me or what I think. So if my physical voice, like Bing Crosby does for me, he heals me, Sade does for me. If my physical voice can heal people and make them feel, a sense of relief, that would be amazing.
Yeah. Well, I have no doubt that'll come to fruition. We'll check in 100 years and see, if my prediction's correct.
Yeah, and I'll be able to because I'll be my AI self will check in.
Will be uploaded to the cloud.
Yeah,
This will be
it'll be a long-going thing.
So your latest album, Plate of Gold, is currently being funded, and it will be out soon.
Yes.
Okay. And the previous album, Painted Crown, is already available?
It's available to buy on my website.
Okay, which is?
Yeah, which is Tomasina.net.
Tomasina.net.
Yeah.
I'll include links and everything.
Yeah, you can find everything there.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to share with us or tell us about? Any upcoming projects or other, things you want to point the audience to?
Well, I definitely want everyone, once this has been released, I want everybody to go and watch the new Joyride video and stream the single. And also we did Point of No Return, which is an expose song, but we did our own version of it. And there's also a video for that. So watch those two things.
Nice.
And lastly, I just want to say I'm so proud of you, Chris, for doing this. These things aren't easy. And I've always saw something in you. We've always bonded on a heart level, and I just want to encourage you to keep doing this and keep going. And I love your new ideas and vision, and I can't wait to see more of it.
Oh, thank you. I definitely will keep going, and I really appreciate you always being there and being game to create something together. It's been hugely beneficial and also so rewarding because of your artistry, because it is so transcendent and operates at such a high level, and you always are able to manifest exactly what I'm like trying to dream of, but can't quite, produce myself or articulate. And you're like, it's like this. I'm like, yes, it is like that. So yeah, it's been such a pleasure, and I can't wait for whatever else we're going to collaborate on in the future.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Sweet. Well, thank you so much for being here on the podcast, and I'm looking forward to whatever's next for you and for us.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.